Hello everybody, and welcome if you're new here, and welcome back if you're a current subscriber, seen my videos before. My name is Adrienne, I'm a certified personal trainer, and here on my YouTube channel I like to share at-home/gym workouts. I talk about PCOS and share my journey with it, and like we're doing today, I'm showing you some of my favorite recipes. So today we're actually going to be using a crock pot. So this is going to be a great recipe for if you want to make something quickly in the morning and just have it set up so when by the time you get back from work you have dinner ready. Today we're going to be making a spicy barbacoa. It's one of my favorite things to make using the crock pot. So I'm excited to share this recipe with you, and let's get into it.
All right, let's start off with chopping up our ingredients, starting with what's going to make us cry the least and ending with what's going to make us cry the most. So we're going to start off with cilantro. So we just want a bunch of it, like not too much. We're going to go ahead and slice at the stem. I already ripped off the ends of the stem and washed the cilantro, but we're going to go ahead and just slice it up. Now the thing with cilantro, the stem does taste like the leaves, so you could use that unless you're pretty picky or just prefer just using the leaves itself. You're more than welcome to pick the leaves off and use just the leaves, but I personally like using the stems. Yeah, it's like a rough chop when it comes into the leaves. All right, and I do have a side bowl ready because we're going to combine all the ingredients together because they're going to go into the crock pot anyways all together, so I don't need to keep them separated. All right, moving on to our jalapeno. So I like to cut my jalapeno is cut the stem off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut it down in the middle like so. Then use the knife and remove those seeds. The seeds are what makes it hot. If you want it super spicy, feel free to use the seeds in the recipe, but I think the jalapeno itself adds a good kick to it. I'm just gonna remove the inside. I don't want this part in here because there's more seeds. Okay, so I'm gonna discard this and then wash the jalapeno and wash the seeds out off camera, so be right back. Cool, we are back. So I'm gonna go ahead, slice the jalapeno down its length into smaller pieces. You can see there's actually some seeds stuck on this one. I do not want you in my recipe. Please get out. I do not want you. And what we're going to do from this point is go ahead and dice up the jalapeno. Like so. I find that this is the easiest way to gut out a pepper and then dice it. And we're going to add that in the same bowl with the cilantro. If you end up getting a seed in there, I think it'll be fine. I'm trying to avoid the seeds. And you're going to do the same thing with the other half the jalapeno. Again, add that to the add that to the same bowl as the cilantro. All right, I'm gonna rinse this cutting board clean. Ooh, that's a lot of jalapenos on this side. Cutting board clean and move on to the next ingredient. I just grabbed a new cutting board and a new fresh knife. But to the ingredients that are gonna make us cry the most is a onion. We're gonna use half of a sweet onion. You could also use a white onion, but oh God, this is already strong. Woo! So I like saving this for last, because I don't want to cry through everything else that I make. We're gonna go ahead. I ripped off the skin, so I guess I got some extra on there. Cool, I'll leave that to the side. We're also gonna be dicing this. into little pieces. I suck at cutting this. That's why I want to get this done and over with. Onions used to not make me cry, but for whatever reason they started. Maybe I'm getting old. Who knows? The same deal. You're gonna dice it into small pieces and add it into the same bowl as our cilantro and jalapeno. So I'm gonna try and move past this as fast as I can and get this done and over with. I'm gonna see if I can cut all these sections in at once and call it a day. Okay, we're done crying here. On to the next. All right, now that everything is chopped up, we are getting ready to put everything into the crock pot. So we're going to start off with half a cup of low sodium chicken broth. You could also use beef broth if you want. It's going to actually add a little bit more. There we go. Then we're going to go ahead and place in 2 pounds of 2 pounds of chuck roast. Let me get it off. So boneless chuck roast. I have 2 pounds. I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to try not to make a splash. Beautiful. Now in for our seasonings. 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. 1 teaspoon onion powder. 1.5 teaspoons of paprika. And 1.5 teaspoons of cayenne pepper. I'm gonna take regular ground black pepper and do that to taste. And for salt, I'm actually gonna use garlic salt. So that's not straight salt, guys, it's garlic salt. So it's mixed. Then we're gonna go ahead and add in all of our chopped ingredients. So that's gonna be our onions, our cilantro, and our jalapenos. Awesome. This is definitely a recipe you want to make earlier in the day, or you could make overnight, because you're gonna set up your crock pot, put the lid on it, and you're gonna set it up for 7 to 8 hours. Once it's done cooking, it's gonna be easy to pull apart. So go check back in 7 to 8 hours. And I'm definitely not recording that whole 7 to 8 hours. So be right back when it's done.
Alrighty, now that our barbacoa is done and ready, I like to have 2 separate bowls on the side. One is where I'm going to discard any of the fat that I have, like the fat attached to the meat. And the other ones I'm going to put the barbacoa. I'm going to use 2 forks to pull it apart. And when I start taking the fat out, the chunks of fat, I'm going to use a knife to cut out the meat away from the fat. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So we're going to take our forks. See how nicely that's just starting to pull apart. I like to take these pieces kind of automatically and put them onto a side bowl. And this is what I'm saying, I like this part. That's why I have a separate side bowl. Kind of remove that. So if I get a hold of any chunks that have a bunch of fat attached to it, I just remove it in a separate bowl because I do not like that.
Okay, sweet. Now that we've shredded up our barbacoa, I'm gonna go ahead and take all this meat out, put it into a separate side bowl, and it will be ready to be served. Oh yeah, and I'm keeping some of the garnishes with it.
My heater just turned on, so let's ignore that background noise, but it is time for the taste test. That was absolutely delicious. I love it. It's got a great kick to it. I actually like putting these on like at homemade tacos. I use a corn tortilla shell soft. I usually do this also with rice and broccoli, so I add this in as a side, especially if I'm looking to switch up my meal plan and or my dinner. I like flavor in my life, so sometimes eating the same things over and over, it's great to mix things up. And of course, since it's a red meat, it has a lot of iron for it. I need my iron. But I absolutely love this recipe. I had a few other people try this before at my job. They absolutely loved it too. So I highly recommend making this. It's also great to make for a potluck, or if you decide to make like a family and your friend night. So this is great. I highly recommend you trying this recipe as well. I'm sure you'll love it too. But with that being said, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and supporting me and my channel. If you haven't already yet, hit that like and subscribe button. It will definitely help me grow and continue making videos just like this of sharing recipes, information about PCOS, my journey along PCOS, and at home/gym workouts. Now that the weather is starting to warm up slightly, I'll get back into recording even more at home workouts. So if you have any recommendations of certain workouts you'd like to see, go ahead and drop it in the comments below. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.